tip will blow your mind, especially if you're a healthy foodie like me. You can use your hand for serving sizes, and it's so simple. For instance, when I'm putting butter on my toast or something like that, I use the top of my middle finger as a teaspoon. The thumb is for 2 tablespoons for things like dip, but I always eat at least 2 of those. Index finger is 1 ounce, so if you're grazing on a charcuterie board, keep that in mind. The entire fist, wrist up, is 1 cup for things like vegetables, rice, and pasta. It's fingers up for half a cup.
How to practice portion control without tracking calories. Let's get right into it. But before we start, you guys know I like to give you the scientific background of nutrition because as a registered dietitian, my job is to educate and not influence. Our brains rely on both internal signals coming from our hunger and fullness hormones and external cues like our plate size, food variety, and even distractions. Problem is, those external cues often override the internal ones. But if you set up your environment strategically, you can eat the right portions without tracking a thing. So I'm gonna give you 7 practical tips for portion control without having to track calories at all. Number 1, when you're plating out your food, use a smaller plate or a smaller bowl. The research shows that people who do this often serve themselves 20% less food without even noticing. Number 2 is to limit food variety at one meal. And what I mean by this is don't have sweet, savory, salty, umami, spicy, because when you have too many competing tastes and flavors, it's harder to feel satiated. Number 3, you want to pre-plate your meal. Don't eat out of the package. It removes the bottomless effect when you put that portion onto a plate and finish there. When you are eating your meal, start by eating your protein and your produce or your fruits and veggies first, because these are going to fill you up faster and leave less room for you to overeat starches and fats. Number 5, you want to pause mid-meal. So when you're halfway through your meal, set your fork down and determine, am I still hungry or am I just finishing this plate out of habit? Number 6 is to keep your trigger foods less accessible. The more effort and energy you have to put into grabbing that food, you'll do it less often. Last but not least, try not to eat distracted. When you're distracted by a TV or a phone, that increases your intake by 25 to 30% because your brain is not recognizing that you're eating. This is why I preach that you do not need to micromanage your calories forever. Portion control can come when you're just aware and you're eating intentionally and mindfully.
If you're trying to portion control and if you're trying to eat intuitively, let me give you a scenario that might change the way you think about portion control. So let's say you have kids, you put your kids down to eat, they eat their lunch, they eat their dinner, and then they still want more. And you're like, are you sure you still want more? They're like, yeah, I still want more. Okay, so you make them some more, takes about 5 minutes, whatever, 5-10 minutes, depending on what you're making. You put the food down, they come back like, oh, I don't want it anymore. Same thing goes for us adults. You get your plate of food, eat. If you're just getting into it, I would recommend starting a little at a time. Like you get your plate of food, don't eat a quarter of it. Don't eat a quarter and then next week eat less and less and less. You will be astonished how, like if you're eating, you take a break, you come back, you're not going to want the rest of the food. You're not going to want the rest of the food. Maybe in the beginning it might be hard. Mentally, your mind is going to be like, no, you want it. It's really good. But like physically, your stomach and your brain will be like, no, like you're full, you're not hungry, don't eat it. Ever since I started doing this, I was watching the dishes the other day and that hit me. Because people ask me all the time, how did you heal your relationship with food? How did you start eating intuitively? Like that, I would just eat less and less and less. Now, if you eat little, you're gonna be little. If you eat big, you're gonna be big. You know, so you have to work your way to this, but that was just like mind-blowing for me because that's exactly how it is. So many times I think I'm so hungry, right? I eat my food, I think I'm so hungry. I'm like, no, get out of the kitchen, you know, distract yourself, come back 5 minutes later, you're not gonna want the food anymore. So doing that and staying consistent will help you so much with portion control, losing weight, keeping the weight off, eating foods that we think are bad and keeping the weight off. So next time you want to like start portion control or whatever, try that hack and let me know how it goes.
Y'all want to see the easiest way to get hot and healthy? Take note of the 3 different sizes of bowls. I could easily put my breakfast in this bowl and it'll take up like this much of it. And then I'll want to fill in the gaps, right, with like fruit or yogurt or whatever it is, which are healthy things, okay? Healthy things. But if I use this bowl, I'll have what, like 3/4 of the serving of that end up in here. But if I have this bowl, let me show you. Okay, so we see this, right? Look at how much yogurt I'm feeling like I should put into this bowl. Like, okay. It's a full bowl. That is a complete serving to me. I'm going to look at that. Look, I'll add a few blackberries. Okay. Complete. Looks great. Imagine this serving in this bowl. The way that I would legitimately fill up the entire thing with yogurt, fruit, whatever, and I'd be like, okay, now that's a good serving. No, Just use a smaller bowl, bitch.
If you eat carbs, you'll feel energized. If you eat protein, you'll feel satisfied. If you eat protein and carbs, you will feel satisfied and energized. If you eat fiber, you'll feel full. If you eat fiber, protein, and carbs, you'll feel full, satisfied, and energized. If you eat fats, you'll have stable energy levels. If you eat fats, fiber, protein, and carbs, you'll have stable energy levels, feel full, feel satisfied, and feel energized. If you eat what you're craving, you will feel happy. If you're eating what you're craving, fats, fiber, protein, and carbs, then you'll feel happy, you'll have stable energy levels, you'll feel full, you'll feel satisfied, and you'll feel energized. Start adding, stop restricting.
The hack to eating smaller portions is tea. If you are done with your portion and it's like kind of small and you're still hungry and like you want to go back for seconds or thirds, have a tea first. Because I just finished this, I'm kind of hungry still, and I'm gonna go have a chai tea with milk, and it's gonna be so good. And 20 minutes later, when my brain realizes that I just ate, I'm not gonna be hungry anymore. And guess what? If I am still hungry after my tea, then I'll eat more. But like, you don't process that you just ate. So that's the key to having smaller portions, because in the past I would go have second, thirds and be like, oh, it's salad, like it's fine. But you don't realize your stomach is smaller than it is, and your brain is gonna process 20 minutes later that you have food in your stomach. Anyway, here's my tea. It's from Stash, the double chai. It's really good, but super hot, so I'm just holding it down.
Here are some skinny girl rules that I live by as someone that once used to look like this, and I now look like this. Guys, first things first, I barely drink my calories. And when I say drink calories, I don't drink beverages that have over 200 calories, okay? You will never catch me with a Frappuccino from Starbucks. It's not gonna happen, okay? Obviously, I will have my normal morning coffee. I might have the occasional green juice or turmeric shot. But guys, I barely drink my calories. That's number one. Number two, I move my body every single day. I don't care what that looks like. I don't care if I'm doing cardio in the gym. I don't care if I'm walking to the post office, but I must do some form of movement every single day, okay? I can't be stagnant for the whole day. I need to move my body, whatever that looks like. Number three, nothing is off limits. I literally eat every single food group, but I eat very small portions, okay? Instead of having a full slice of something, I will have half a slice. Or instead of having a full box of something, I might have a quarter of the box, okay? But the point is that I don't eat an excessive amount of food for all of my meals. Number four is that I always have water by me. I don't track how much water I'm drinking, but I always have a sip of water if I'm feeling a bit peckish, okay? Before you have any meal, drink some water. Guys, you might not be hungry, you might just be thirsty. Number five, I try to have a lot of high protein, lean meals. So I'm talking things like chicken breast, things like fish, that sort of thing. And I try to incorporate that at least once a day into my meals. But those are some skinny girl habits that I follow to maintain my weight loss.
This is my snack. And when I was putting this is like a soy sauce little dish. And when I was pouring this, I was just thinking about it. I think about this almost every time I share my food on social media. It gets a gazillion shares and people are like, there's no way you actually eat that little. If you don't like practice portion control, you will literally never lose weight. I have trained my body. I've literally put my back into training my body and making your actual stomach smaller. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this one. If you're Armenian, you're familiar with it. With this one surgery that makes the inside of your stomach like smaller, so you eat less. That's what I did like over the years naturally. Like naturally, I made my stomach smaller just by eating less and less. I'm never ever ever trust I'm never hungry. Like if I'm still hungry, I will continue to eat, but like my portions are small because that's how much I need. Like I think a lot of people overestimate how much they need. You don't need a lot of food, and I eat like 2 to 3 times a day. So if I ate 2 to 3 big meals a day, like that just would never work. But I have been a big bag the last few days. I can't stop eating those cloud popcorns. Oh, now I'm eating like these protein cereals. I'm being a big fat.
You want to get snatched quick, like you're like enough is enough, like I'm gonna get this weight off now. I don't recommend this because I did lose 120 pounds over 3 years, but slow and steady always wins a race. However, there are some individuals out there who may benefit from just going right in, and I've got you. So first, you're basically going to cut your calories or portion control to the max, right? You're eating protein at every meal. You're not snacking. You're not eating these little bites. Like every meal is portioned. Every meal is pretty much planned out, and you're eating protein at every meal. That's how you're going to lose the weight without feeling like you're so freaking hungry. Okay? Protein at every single meal. Okay? Because if you think about it, like losing weight is an energy balance, right? You want to take in less than you're burning. So think of it that way. The second thing is you're going to walk. Walking has so many benefits. However, when you're trying to lose weight, it's probably the best because it's like that's your cardio, that's your movement, that's your energy out. It only adds to basically your energy like that you burn, but you don't get tired, you're not getting overly hungry. You can do more of it without feeling like you're starving, you're lethargic. Like when you do a HIIT workout, think about that. Think about when you do a heavy lift. You need fuel to fuel that lift or that HIIT workout. With walking, you don't really need it. You're gonna drink your water. At least I do like 3 liters a day to like a gallon, and then you're gonna take your supplements and you're going to sleep. Because when you're tired, you tend to overeat. Because instead of just resting, you're like, oh, I think I need to eat something. No, you don't. You just need to rest. Finally, I would do Pilates workouts, low impact, low intense workouts. I didn't lift heavy. I don't do HIIT. I didn't do any of that because that makes you hungrier to an extent. Some people react differently, but I think for the most, when you do like a really intense workout, you're probably going to be hungrier after, and we want to avoid that. So low impact, low intense, walking, lower your calories, that sort of thing, okay? And then you just gotta be consistent. You can't just do it Monday through Friday and expect like the weekend just to eat whatever you want and like lose the weight. It needs to be an every single day thing. I also drink a lot of teas, electrolytes, and anytime like I feel like I want to snack, like I want to snack, I want to like, I'm bored eating, find something else to do. Find a hobby, clean something, organize something, get out of your kitchen, go for a walk. Tell yourself you need to do A, B, and C, and if you're still hungry, eat. I also do intermittent fasting. I cut off the timing of the food because that also helps. So try it, be responsible, okay? Don't be stupid, okay? And good luck. Love you, bye.
I don't know about you, but if I'm eating in a restaurant, I'm gonna want more than half a sandwich. But there is something to take from this video. I'm someone who usually struggles with eating too much food if there's a lot in front of me, so here's what I do to prevent that. If you go out to a restaurant, you order a meal, and it's just too much, and you feel like you're afraid you're gonna eat all of it, just ask them for a to-go box at the beginning, right after you get the food. Then you can pack some of it away, set it aside, and then just eat what you have left. And of course, if you're still hungry, you can go in and eat what you packed away, but this might help you with your portion sizing, because it's very natural for us as humans to want to eat everything that's in front of us, even if it is a lot more than we probably should be eating. This also just makes it so you get more bang for your buck and you get 2 meals instead of 1. But also, if you go out and you end up eating a lot of food, don't worry about it. It's just 1 meal. It's not a big deal.